What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Strackbine, joined always by my main man, Jacob Punturi. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers, not a good day. No signings as of this point. Aaron Rodgers timeline. Apparently, it's different from what it was yesterday, 2 days ago. Who knows? But he has informed the team. Maybe he's informed the team. We'll get into the speculation that things may not happen today, tomorrow, or anytime soon. Plus, there's one position that the Pittsburgh Steelers should be looking at that we've heard they are going to look at, that we have heard little news from to this point. We'll dive into that. Plus, we'll answer all your questions. We appreciate you guys jumping on early with us today. I am headed to Acrisure Stadium after this one for the Pittsburgh Irish Foundation Fund dinner gala thing. I apologize that I should get that right. Where former Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin is going to talk for the first time. How you feeling, my friend? We'll start with this one. Do you think we're getting anything good out of Tomlin today?
Well, I mean, listen, I was very excited when you said, well, listen, I was kind of upset.
Yeah.
As I am when plans change, when Noah suggested that we were going to have to do the podcast a little bit earlier today, because again, I like my schedule the way it is. But then he tells me, hey, you know what? We got to do it a little bit early because Mikey T's talking.
Mike T.
For the first time since this man has departed the franchise. And I gotta say, I'm not expecting much. I would be lying if I said I was expecting some like hot goss to come out of this. But I mean, fingers crossed. I'm remaining optimistic and hopeful that just a little bit of just a tidbit of something slips out. Just a little bit comes out of here. We haven't heard from this man in, a month and a half, 2 months. And
yeah, it's been a while.
I think, we're all really anxious and eager to hear just how life is and kind of if we can glean any more information about what led to his decision to leave. So I'm pumped for you to be there, man. I'm pumped to do this early because of it.
I am too. Hot goss is, I think, 2 words that would probably never come out of Mike Tomlin's mouth, but I think we might get something. I think at bare minimum, what we're going to get is an explanation of what, not what happened, but why he chose to do it, why it was the right time. I think we will get an explanation for that, whether that's as simple as I just want to be a father and a husband, or it's as complicated as I didn't think that I was the right choice for the Steelers anymore. I don't have any expectations that we're going to get anything outside of I have no future plans right now in terms of what's to come for Mike Tomlin, but I do think that we're going to get the reasoning as to why he chose now to do it. We were told 3 to 5 minutes, and I don't know how many questions you could get out in 3 to 5 minutes, but man, am I excited for some rapid fire. What's going on here, Mikey T? I'm excited, man. Do you think the people still care? It feels wild that we are this removed from Mike Tomlin already. Do you think that him speaking now is good enough for, we'll speak, I hate to speak for the fan base, but we'll speak for the fan base here. Do you think it's enough to have some closure?
Yes. I think there is. We'll never have the perfect goodbye, right? We'll never. Yeah. The only way this would have gone 100% smoothly is if he would have rode off into the sunset after a Super Bowl win, with the Lombardi Trophy hoisted high and proudly. Other than that, this was always going to be slightly bittersweet. I think we just needed to hear, like, historically, and there's only been this has only happened twice in my lifetime with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but there was some sort of exit press conference, media availability for Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher on their ways out. So it's just a moment to say goodbye here. If nothing else, we'll take the comments. I don't know what we're going to do with them. I'm not expecting much, but it's just a good way to kind of end this chapter officially. Which we have not really gotten the chance to do as a fan base. So, let's get that done tonight.
I agree.
Do a
little blessing. And I'm excited for it. I am excited to talk to Mike T. We'll have a lot of updates on the show, obviously, tomorrow, but I'll post a little video as I'm walking out after my 3 to 5 minutes. They asked if I wanted to stay. I said, dude, I told my wife that I'd bring home Chipotle. So can't
do that.
Can't stay. You know what I mean? Plus Irish dinner, dude. I'm on a diet right now. Okay. Can't be, I'm coffee, rice, and beans. That's
You don't want nothing but starch for dinner tonight?
I love it, man. That is the one stereotype that I learned is so true in Dublin, is that all they eat is fried everything. They're just, hey, would you like some potatoes with your potatoes? And I'm like, I would actually. I would. How about the world's heaviest beer? You know what? It's 8 a.m. Might as well. Let's keep it trucking. It's a good time, dude. Shout out to all the Irishmen who will be down at Acrisure Stadium later today. Let's talk Aaron Rodgers, okay? You've got a quote here from Ian Rappaport, who put out today that he sees the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers coming to some sort of agreement or decision or something at some point, but it's not going to be today. I will let you say the quote, then I will explain to everyone what I was told heading into all of this, the timeline of what it's been like, and we can react, because let me tell you, it is ridiculous. It's upsetting. It's a little bit frustrating. And I can only imagine that it's more frustrating to everyone else outside of me. So with that, what you got?
Well, on Good Morning Football, noted NFL insider Ian Rappaport said this about Aaron Rodgers. My understanding was Aaron Rodgers had planned to inform these Steelers of his decision at some point before the draft with plenty of time.
Yeah.
I would say likely end of this month.
A week ago, Ian Rappaport said that Aaron Rodgers' decision is expected to come, quote unquote, this week. I was told that Aaron Rodgers' decision was supposed to come 2 days ago. It's March 12th. And now the reports are coming out saying maybe the end of the month, but could be before the NFL draft. And do you want to know two things? One, where I've heard that before, because the answer is last year, free agency, when Aaron Rodgers was supposed to come before the NFL draft and then never came before the NFL draft. Stunner. And two, I mean, it's clearly, very clearly, and shout out to Ian for this one, I was wrong, and now the Steelers and everybody else are trying to do their own cover-up of, okay, maybe it's a little bit later. Maybe it's before the draft. We never said before free agency. We said before the draft. That is what we're talking about, which obviously pushes out those later reports. I want to ask you just a very direct question to kick this conversation off.
Love it.
What is the message Aaron Rodgers sends to the Pittsburgh Steelers and his 90 teammates, his 89 teammates, if he shows up the day after minicamp and says, I'm here, guys, I'll be here at the end of July?
You know, I don't think this is me saying anything like personally attacking Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Whenever I say, like, the message it sends is the same one that he sent last year upon his arrival, the same one he sent upon his arrival with the New York Jets and down the stretch with the Green Bay Packers. I think the message that we continue to get from Aaron Rodgers is that there is nobody more important than Aaron Rodgers. And listen, it was one thing to be desperate last year while you're waiting to find out what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, while you're waiting to find out just like where this limbo quarterback situation heads.
Yes.
Like, it was one thing to be very patient for him then. They stated to our faces in Indianapolis, this was not going to go like it did last year. And guess what? It's going exactly like it did last year, and there's no end in sight. So, I think the message it sends is, and I get and I respect the fact that this is a future Hall of Fame quarterback, a person who has certainly earned the right to do things his way in some regard.
For sure.
It doesn't negate the fact that the message he sends is there's nothing more important than me. And that's always been the case. It still is the case. If that makes me a hater, if that makes me one of those losers in their basement, like talking crap,
like his sister said.
Yeah.
Shout out Mrs. Rodgers.
Then so be it. Because I tell you what, whenever you asked me to join this show, what would you have done if I was like, you know what? I'll tell you in a month, and then why don't you just wait? Just hold the job for a month.
I'd say, I'm good, dog. Appreciate you.
But why? I'm really good.
I don't really care.
Oh, so it's not right?
No.
Oh, interesting. Interesting how the situation changes and the response changes, you know?
Dude, you're spot on.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you have a different interpretation? Is there a positive way to spin this at all? I
No,
don't believe there is.
there's not, dude. It's at some point you have to look at it and defend the Pittsburgh Steelers and say that, you know, at the end of all of this, this is your quarterback. This is the one guy that guys were pounding the table to bring back. This is, I mean, look at guys were going into exit meetings saying we want Aaron to be our quarterback in 2026. So they kept the door open for Aaron to be their quarterback in 2026. Right. And Aaron's saying, nah, you know what, guys, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. He's the toxic boyfriend. That's what he is. Aaron Rodgers is a toxic boyfriend. It's crazy to me that the Steelers are letting themselves fall for it again. And look it. You're spot on in saying that Aaron Rodgers is 42 years old. He's a future Hall of Famer, whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't make the Steelers' ability to sit here and say, we will go after no one else, we will not try anything, means that to me, he has indicated in some sense that he wants to return, that he wants to come back, which to me is toxic boyfriend material saying, don't worry, babe. When, you know what I mean? I can't really commit to anything right now, but I really like you.
I'll call you tonight.
Yeah. Like, you know, I want you to be my girl, but I just can't, I don't want to put a label on it.
Yeah.
You know, that's so much worse. It's so much worse. And I don't care about the Steelers looking foolish. They look foolish and it's bad. It's a little sad, but it's the Aaron Rodgers. But this is the guy who's supposed to lead your team. This is the guy who's supposed to be the biggest leader in your locker room. Crazy to me. Crazy to me.
Have you reached your limit yet with any of this?
I'm just
you still enjoying the ride?
Nah, I'm always enjoying the ride, brother. But I would like to talk about something else, truthfully.
Okay.
I would. Because I think, okay, like I had a conversation today with somebody, another reporter, not in Pittsburgh, and they told me, like, they were like, you know, would you feel good about this quarterback coming to Pittsburgh? And nonchalantly just asked me that. And I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And they were like, that guy is so polarizing. You'd have so much to talk about. And I was like, thank God, because I don't even care about polarizing. No one wants to hear about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Yeah. There's not a single person out there that cares. So it's it's like our jobs. We have to do it, but it's not. No, it's not fun. I'm not enjoying the ride anymore. I'm always enjoying the ride, but I would like the ride to come to a end so we could hop on the next one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. How many times can you ride the whip? You know what I mean?
I mean, dude, I've been through this one. You know, I've hit the loop 140 times. Yeah. It's time for me to go on something else. It's time for me to switch it up. Do you think that Aaron does give them an answer before the NFL draft? Let's start this one before the end of the month.
Yeah, I still do. Wow. Right. That's I think that's where my initial sort of assessment has been, is like, you're not getting this before free agency. You're getting it at an inopportune time. What would be more inconvenient than, you know, the end of March, 2-3 weeks before you're making your final draft selections, as you are in the process of really finalizing your draft board. Your 42-year-old quarterback comes back and says, you know what, actually, just had a light bulb moment. I'm back, brother. Tell Ty Simpson to kick rocks. Tell Taylor Green to suck it. And so, yeah, I think we're going to hear from him by the end of the month. So before the NFL draft, that would still qualify. Where is your assessment gone?
Dude, I have no idea. I was told March 10th it didn't happen. And when I checked in on March 10th and said, what's good, pal? How's it going? The response I got was like, yeah, we're still kind of waiting. I was like, well, that's not March 10th. You know, that's not what he told you, or you were indicated would be the time frame that you would hear from him. So I don't know what to believe. You know what I mean? I'm just, again, riding the wave here. If he doesn't show up by the draft, you think they draft somebody?
Yeah, they have to.
But do you think they actually do?
Yeah, because there's just no, like, you just like, from a very like roster construction baseline need, yes, they would need another quarterback. More so, they'll need someone with more upside, or as much upside as Will Howard might show, So at that point, you definitely need to draft a quarterback, and you're already behind the 8 ball because you missed any opportunity you had in free agency. So yeah, if they don't have an answer by April 23rd, 22nd, 20 whatever that first night of the draft,
23rd, yeah,
23rd, Ty Simpson's coming to Pittsburgh.
yeah, yeah. You think I was just going to ask that? What round do you think Ty Simpson first?
I would say it goes from like a 25% chance to like a 60% chance.
Yeah, let me just throw up real fast.
Yeah,
That's
I was gonna
terrible.
Say, clear that cup out so you got a nice vessel.
That's disgusting. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
This is what happens. This is sowing the seeds of pushing this off and delaying this and kicking the can. Now you get this crop of just poop. Get poop crop.
Poop crop, dude. Some Malibu poop crop. I don't think it would be Ty Simpson, but I agree with you that they draft a quarterback. I think it would be Drew Aller, something like that. Yeah, because and you want to know why? It's not because they realize they don't realize they need a quarterback. It's because those desperate little hands of theirs will still be like, Aaron, please come on back. He might come. And he will. He will in a month, and it'd be so upsetting, dude. So upsetting. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers, who when he does sign, will 100% make sure that we all know that he did nothing wrong. Shout out to the guy.
He didn't do a thing wrong. No.
Shout out to the guy. All right, let's talk left guard. That's the one position that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going after right now. It is a clear as day need for them. They have made it known that they want a left guard. Everybody is talking about how that's their next position to sign. They clearly tried to in Brock Hoffman. Didn't work out. He got tendered by the Dallas Cowboys. Where do they go? Who's their left guard? They do have some available guys. You made a list today of the top remaining left guard free agents. And at this point, I think the Steelers need to make a splash, but are they going to make a splash? Do you think they do? First of all, then we'll dive into the names.
They need to make a splash. Obviously, they need to make a splash. I think the splash at this point cannot be anything that's like very impressive.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like when the little kid at the pool is like, watch this cannonball. And the splash is like, he's like, oh, make a big splash. And then he jumps in and it's just like, oh, like blink. And you're like, way to go. Because as Noah mentioned, I have a list here of players who are available. Not a lot of splash worthy guards here. There maybe was a time, David Edwards, I would have considered to be a splash of a player. There were some veteran linemen that were available 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That would have been a splash. Now you're looking at just a guy who at best is an average starter in the NFL, but they need some help. So, I mean, do you think they're going to make a splash? I know you've talked about it being a need, but before we dive into this list.
No. I think that they are a splash. What would you consider splash? Is Wyatt Teller a splash?
No, not at all.
Then no. The answer is no. I think that's what they're going to go. They're going to replace Isaac Seumalo with 1 year younger Isaac Seumalo, and they have like 6 options to do that with. But that's what they're, you know what I mean? They're going to go from 32 years old to 31 years old and sign him to a 3-year deal.
Yeah, I totally anticipate this being completely mirroring the Isaac Seumalo situation from a few seasons ago. They're just not going to make a very impressive move. The most impressive move they could make is if they were to draft someone in round 1.
Yeah.
Like someone threw out Ione from Penn State yesterday.
Yes.
Like that would be somebody who was clearly the best offensive guard in this class, by my opinion. That's a splash. Aside from that, you have guys like Wyatt Teller, who's on my list. We have guys like Chris Paul from the Washington Commanders on my list. We have guys like Brady Christensen, who missed a ton.
Brady Christensen.
He's played, you complimented a guy named Elgton Jenkins very recently for his versatility.
Yeah.
And you know what this guy's done in his NFL career? Played all across the NFL offensive line.
Very true.
Is he a good option? No, but again, there's no splash player here on this list. I mentioned a player, Dylan Ray-Dunes. Like, this is a guy who maybe is a little bit better than his league reputation might suggest, but I'd argue the ceiling is still an average starter. And then the top name on my list here, and I don't think it's that impressive, is Mekhi Becton. And there's a reason that he's still on the market. Spotrac has his market value at something like $13 million. I would argue it's half of that at best.
At best.
You know, he is a Super Bowl winner, but man, that performance last season with the Los Angeles Chargers, very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. And you have to hope that maybe it was just the whole group was bad.
Yeah,
Los Angeles, so maybe that was it, but maybe he was just elevated by a really good Philadelphia team before that.
I agree. And that's my thing with Mekhi Becton. I don't think people like Mekhi Becton. Mm-hmm. I think he'd be okay in Pittsburgh because he'd be viewed as the fourth best offensive lineman because Broderick would be the fifth. And I'm really coming into the Broderick Jones is going to end up being the left tackle of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is
getting there too.
Yes.
Just I hate it.
It's not fun. I like Mekhi Becton's size. I think he's decent. He wouldn't be the top guy on my list, though. Wyatt Teller would be the top guy on my list. I think that he's young enough to sign to one more like long-term deal and have that stability there. He's an AFC North guy who's got a lot of success in the AFC North. And I think my second guy would be Dylan Rundes or however. Just because age-wise hasn't been terrible, hasn't been good. Chris Paul to me is no. Like, to me, it's like
that's a bad option.
It's a bad option. I don't understand how he's so high on all these free agency lists. Like, to me, Washington's offensive line was so atrocious that I just don't have any idea how anybody could be looking at them and saying good options, good names that you can go after. Dylan Rundes would be fine. If I had to guess, though, it's Wyatt Teller. And I just think it's like that's a classic Steelers signing. This guy's played in the AFC North. He comes from a run-heavy team. He knows AFC North ball. We'll hear that 85 times. And he's good. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it's a good, to me, like that's an option where you're going, cool. Like, to me, totally fine.
Yeah. And then there's some other guys, there's guys like Wyatt Teller's teammate.
Yeah, Joel Bitonio,
who primarily played left guard over his entire career. So maybe there's just something similar. But
I like him.
Left guard does nothing for me in terms of like I like Bitonio though too.
He's older though, right? He's like 34. Yeah, he's up there. Like, to me, that's a name that it gets concerning once you get up to that age, because at any moment you're gonna fall off. It's just a matter of when you're gonna fall off. Absolutely. You know, you have a guess?
The only maybe a name that feels like it could be is James Daniels, because it's just like a reunion. Everybody's familiar. The same sort of the same reasons that Wyatt Teller would be an appealing choice. I think James Daniels also stands out. But I think Radunz
might be the
I feel like he's 26, will be 27. Massive. He's like 6'6".
Yeah.
Like, you got to hope that this new offensive line coach is coming in with a fresh new vision on how to utilize some players that maybe haven't reached their peak, so to speak, in the NFL. Yeah. So I would take a chance on a guy like him, because you would do the same type of deal you did for Siamalu, or you might do with Wyatt Teller, and you might just get a little bit more out of it in the end.
Yeah. I'd be very okay with that. We'll see where do you think there's a higher chance they sign somebody that we named, or a higher % chance that they draft, or that they sign somebody we didn't even think of?
I always bet on the house. You know what I mean? Like I bet they're going to sign some guy, like, I don't even know. I have a list over here. I'll just scroll real quick and stop. Lucas Patrick, come on down. You know what I mean? Like, who even knows? And we'll be like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, did anyone have Darnell Savage pegged as the third safety, or the guy that they would go after as the depth addition?
No,
I certainly didn't.
No. That's where you have to look, is like who played for the Packers 8 years ago and who played for the Dallas Cowboys at least 2 years ago. Exactly. That's going to be the guy that ends up. Yeah, I agree with that one. I agree. All right, y'all. That's everything on our agenda today. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of it, we're going to start answering all your questions. So toss them in the chat. We'll be back in 60 seconds. What's up, AST Nation? I wanted to give a shout out to J Peace Recruiting, a Western Pennsylvania-based recruiting firm working with manufacturing companies throughout the Pittsburgh region with a heavy focus in the machining industry. Started and run by someone with 25 plus years of experience in the industry, J Peace Recruiting helps those who need real recruiting help but can't justify $10,000 to $20,000 per hire. Built for small and mid-sized shops, J Peace Recruiting offers an affordable flat monthly rate model, unlimited hires, and no per hire or placement fees. They also offer a local job board dedicated exclusively to manufacturing jobs in the region at pittsburghmanufacturingjobs.com. Check them out at jpeacerecruiting.com or by calling 1-844-952-5969. J Peace Recruiting, machining industry recruitment done right. All righty. Shout out to J Peace Recruiting. Good dude, good people. Go check them out as always. Shout out to our members. Shout out to our subscribers. If you got questions, toss them in the chat. If you want to become a member, you could do so by clicking the link below. Lots of good stuff. Just tossed something out there yesterday on Rodgers and this whole debacle that we continue to find ourselves in. Let's get things kicking here with LKZ PQ and what gives us Brian Thomas Jr. and what free agent that's left could net the best return on investment. Also, what position ideally do we go first round? God bless my dude. Thank you so much. Let's start with Patrick Queen and what gives the Steelers Brian Thomas Jr.
Man, I think this is very difficult because the Jaguars have made it clear they don't really want to move on from Brian Thomas Jr. this year, which could be a negotiating tactic, a leverage sort of play.
Yes.
But I would take that to mean you have to really like knock them off their feet with an offer. So for me, that sounds like PQ in like a second, which is like a massive haul to give up for, any player.
Yeah.
But I think I would feel comfortable going PQ and a third. And I, even as I say it, it feels like a lofty give up, but I think I would be very comfortable there. What says you, Noah?
I would say that does the trick.
Mm-hmm.
I would not want to give it up, but I would say that does the trick.
Mm-hmm.
I would say second round PQ, maybe a third and a third next year if you get creative.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, I would imagine PQ in a second does it, and I don't know if I'm into that one. What free agent that's left could net the best return on investment? Oh, I mean, I have the theory that Rasheed Walker is cheaper now that we sit here today.
Every day seems to be.
Yeah, and if you could get him for $18 million a year, that's a steal for a 26-year-old left tackle, especially in 2 years when the left tackle market's paying $25, $26 million a year, and you got a guy for 18, like that's 29 years old. To me, that's Rasheed Walker's that guy. Looking at the big board here. Oh, there's not many names left here, guys. There's really not much going on.
Oh, it's dwindling. I'll pull up a list
here. It really is. Jaquan Brisker would be the other guy. I think Jaquan's going to be super cheap. Super cheap. I bet you he gets signed for $7 million.
That's stupid. That's Dollar Tree prices.
That's crazy.
A player like Jaquan Brisker and what he can do. I think that's a great option. I know I mentioned this player, a couple minutes ago, but I really do think if you get the right interior guard, a guy like Dylan Radunes, like you might get him on the cheap, a 3-year, what does Siamalu sign for? I think it was 3-year,
31.
That was his newest one.
Yeah, 31.
When he signed with the Steelers in 20.
Oh yeah, it was 20. It was $8 million a year.
So you do something like that, and you have a guy who's just starter for 3 years. Like we talked about how much Isaac Siamalu's contract was. Just, an incredible return on investment.
Crazy.
He got such great play at that position for such a value. If you could do that again, we're having the same conversation in 28, 29, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's wild. And then what position ideally do we go first round? Ideally wide receiver, and it's the wide receiver that the Steelers would want. It's one of the top 3 guys. I think that's ideally. I think Denzel Boston starts to form top tier number 2. And at that, like, I think Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, if they weren't wide receivers in a position that really not a lot of teams need a boatload of wide receivers right now, they're all like potentially top 10 guys in the draft, top 15 guys in the draft. And then outside of that, ideally, like, you watch a guy fall, like, I don't know, like Sonny Styles,
Oh,
yeah, like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I have a name there, but one of those guys.
Yeah, if it's not wide receiver, I've talked a lot about nose tackle being ideal, but also like if some stud left tackle falls, like Spencer Fano from Utah, Fano might be how you pronounce that, but a guy like that who just could be I would consider an upgrade over Broderick Jones and Dylan Cook or someone of that ilk. I think that would be an ideal position to target in round one. Same way like how Ione would be the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
You like that word there? Ilk.
Ilk. Yeah. I did like that one.
One.
I'll have to Google that one later to see what the AI tells me is the definition of it. It won't be right, but it'll be like almost kind of right. It'll be
like a fabric.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's silk, right?
That's almost, you know what I mean? We're getting there. Maddie, I guess I'm just confused. If Becton, Walker, Brisker are still out there, why are the Steelers waiting around? Are they seeing if money comes down? Are they looking for it in the draft? I mean, okay, so I think to start, it's every free agent signing is a two-way street. Mm-hmm. It's a two-way negotiation. So I think a lot of people misinterpret this, like, guys not being signed to certain teams as the Steelers didn't even try. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's the Steelers made some phone calls and those guys weren't interested. And sometimes it's as straightforward as that. It's a phone call to say, hey, we would like to negotiate with your client, and them being like, we're not really interested. We have our list already, that we're waiting for, that we're confident we could speak to. Right. I think that's where a lot of these conversations start. Once you start getting deeper into free agency like we are, I think that starts to thin the herd. And now you're looking at it going like, maybe it is money. Maybe it is the Steelers sitting there going, how far can we push it? Because if for some reason Jaquan Brisker doesn't sign until Sunday, his price tag just dropped more, Mm-hmm. Can you get to that date before you sign?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think the Steelers approach when it comes to free agency and really contract extensions in general, with everyone besides TJ Watt, their goal is not to set the market.
Yeah.
Their goal is to undercut it. And we see like Jamel Dean, perfect example. Not, you know what I mean? Like he goes for 12.25, I think is his yearly, something like that.
Who?
Jamel Dean, like his.
Oh, 5.5 is this year.
Well, the cap hit, but like the yearly average.
Oh, it's 6.5 or something.
It's less than the market rate for like starting.
Yeah, for sure.
Same thing with, Cole Holcomb, lower than a depth linebacker.
Yes.
Same thing with Asante Samuel Jr.
Yes.
Like this is Rico Dowdle even gets less than Kenny G. Like they are not trying to break the bank with every single addition. They want to make a cost-effective decision.
Yes.
And that's why Michael Pittman ended up being the guy too, because they could sign him to an extension with a 19.6 cap hit rather than having to go to the 22, 23, $24 million mark. They want to be one of the teams that like they view innovation, I would guess, as being like smart in the free market, not setting the standard and being the heaviest and highest spender.
Yes.
And I think that is playing into, these negotiations and why a player like Rasheed Walker is not signed yet.
Yes.
Why a player like Mekhi Becton has not been signed to a deal yet.
Yes. And I like, truthfully, to me, like Becton's on the other side. Like Brisker to me is weird. I think all three of these guys are different categories.
Yeah.
Like to me, I think Brisker is the guy that we assumed would have a market and the NFL wasn't as interested in. Mm-hmm. Rasheed Walker, I think, is a guy who Tyler Lindenbaum screwed it all up. And now everybody's like, I don't know, man. Let's breathe it out. Let's let things calm before we start signing other big linemen. Becton's a guy that teams are just going like, yeah, man, like I could sign you or Wyatt Teller or Chris Paul, and you're all the same guy. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to see who signs first for less money. And then we're going to go after the next guy. So I think a lot of stuff, we're in a weird spot in free agency. These guys aren't as hot as they were, and it only gets weirder from here. The Simp 88. Ione or Fanu seems to be the smart picks in the first for sure. I don't think either of them get past the top 12 picks.
Sure.
But if they are there 21, I'd take either of them without question.
Yeah, again, like there's just such a difference between like, listen, and I've talked up Denzel Boston a ton. I have a different opinion than I think a lot of people do on him as a player. I'm higher on him than a lot of people. When you can get an anger on the offensive line, you just like can't walk away from it. I just don't understand what would lead a team to do that. It feels like a poor organizational choice to do so. So yeah, if either of those options, or again, someone, to use Noah's new SAT word, someone of that ilk is available at pick 21, they have to go for it, and wide receiver, be damned. You can pick up a guy in round 2 and round 3. You can move up to get another player that might be helpful at a position of need. And also, that's my tummy gurgling, if you heard that at all.
It's pre. We're at pre-pod snack time. You know what I mean?
I am usually having a
little snack, dude. I always get a cookie with my coffee. You know what I mean? Because I'm a child, and they know what cookie I want. I actually shout out to Delilah's, not Delilah's, Delaney's.
Yeah,
Delaney's. Shout out to Delilah too. Delaney's, who always know exactly what I'm getting, and they have my cookie ready. My dudes, thank you guys so much.
Fantastic.
But yes, best. I agree. If they got him, I honestly, and I think Fanu over would be. I just think him and Troy and Zach are just and Mace. They just fit together. You know what I mean? Nasty dudes.
The nasty boys.
Marco, man. First, we were in the Malik sweepstakes and we're wrestling with Minnesota for Kyler. That combined with Rodgers' comments on Pat's show, A-Rod seems like the Steelers break glass an emergency option. No, the Steelers were never really in on Malik Willis. They didn't. They like called, but that was about it. Okay, so I'm still diving into this.
Okay.
But, and I don't know the answer yet because I just found it like minutes before the podcast, minutes before you were like, hey, here, I was on the phone. I hung up the phone. And when I answered the door, when you walked in, and I was told Kyler's camp called Pittsburgh, was not told whether or not, they didn't know if Pittsburgh replied,
Okay.
But I know Kyler's camp called Pittsburgh. We'll figure out if that means anything. But to me, A-Rod has always been option A.
Yes.
And everybody else is the break glass emergency, which is the complete opposite of what they should be doing, but it seems to be what they are doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you like the backup plan is if Aaron Rodgers says no or goes somewhere else, retires. It's not Aaron Rodgers as the backup plan, which is not the best, but that's the world we're living in,
It is. It really, what is the, unless you just said this and I blacked out for a minute there, but what is the real break glass option for the Steelers right now? Let me rephrase that question. Is the break glass option going to break when you break the glass?
Yes. Yeah. Break glass in emergency is like Joe Flacco.
Yeah. It's your grandma's 140-year-old glass face that if you breathe on it, it will crack. Yeah. So don't break the glass.
Don't break the glass. No emergencies.
Just no emergencies. Just no emergencies. Bryce, if Kyler signs with Minnesota, would you be in on a 23-year-old JJ McCarthy for a day 3 pick? Yes. You're shaking your head. No. A day 3 pick? You'd rather them draft Carson Beck on day 3 than trade for JJ
right.
McCarthy?
Okay. Yeah, I would. That is a far better situation that Noah just put out there. Listen, JJ McCarthy is not good.
No, I'm not saying that.
Sure. I guess my reaction was a little bit too harsh. A day 3 pick probably works. My shaking of my head is because I have a lot of respect for Kevin O'Connell and what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
If he, like, JJ McCarthy seems worse now than when he entered the league.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know how encouraged I would be to take a chance on him. And I know Mike McCarthy, he's next to God in terms of developing quarterbacks, but I think
Joe Montana.
Yeah, Joe Montana to start the list. He was Joe Montana before Mike McCarthy, and then he got his name. And I think JJ McCarthy could get his full name back too if he played for Mike McCarthy.
Nobody knew Joe Montana's real name.
Mike's son?
Joe Mike, yeah,
JJ.
Mike. Oh, it could be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Could be for sure. For sure.
Papa,
For sure.
I'm
I
I
would-
practice, Papa.
I think at bare minimum, JJ McCarthy versus Will Howard is the second best of any of the options that we've laid out. Kyler bringing the top, but
Correct.
JJ is again like throw against the wall and see if it sticks. Dude, he's 23 years old and he was 11th pick in the draft. Like, you know, maybe he sucks, but maybe he's like fine. Either way, what? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like that's how I view all quarterback options for the Steelers these days. Is just like, who cares? You know what I mean? If you are younger than 30 years old, sure. You know,
Take a snap.
sure. Sounds good. Might as well see what you got. Might as well see what you got. Don't piss me off. Slap Nuts gifted 5 all Steelers Talk memberships. Appreciate you, my dude. If you snag them, make sure you're calling into the call-in show. Appreciate you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting a crazier call-in show this week. It was calm. It was calm. I think I screwed it up by doing it on Wednesday when I realized that, you know, Tuesday wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. That's on me. My bad, guys. Give me a boatload more so I have to do one this weekend or something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Don't piss me off. Slap Nuts got a question for us. What grade would you give the Steelers this free agency period? So so far, I think I'd go a sound. Honestly, I'd go B plus.
I think that's like
B, maybe?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I
B.
want to go plus, but yeah, I go B.
B.
I go B.
You're missing at least one offensive lineman. Maybe a defensive tackle, but I don't think that necessarily needs to be something that's addressed right now. I think you need a veteran, but I think you could get a veteran in a week and like, who cares, you know?
Yeah, agreed. I think they've genuinely done pretty well. They've addressed a cornerback need, which was very pressing, both as a starter and with depth. They bring in another trusted veteran for depth in middle linebacker, and you address the running back situation to give a true tandem mate to Jalen Warren. So I think that's all a B. Again, like you just pointed out, there were some other positions I would have liked to have seen them address with that ridiculous amount of salary cap space they began with, but overall, you can't criticize too much.
No, I agree. Diamond, at this point, I'm done stage with Rodgers holding us hostage. He needs to retire already. I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think my thing is that we have been so exhausted from the Aaron Rodgers nonsense for 2 years now that, again, like, we need to talk about it. It's our job, but like, we know and understand nobody wants to talk about it anymore. Like and that's when, you know, a story's become too exhausting, is when everybody that's involved is just like, hey pal, we're really waiting on you. But like we would appreciate something here, you know, that would be, and not a letter from your sister, but like a real something here. That would be, especially when it all seems like they know the answer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just, there's nothing that says the Steelers aren't going to end up with Aaron Rodgers. And truthfully, the only way that I think that they don't end up with Aaron Rodgers is because he wants to be spiteful at the end of this and say, you guys all thought that I was just holding him hostage. No, I'm actually going to retire. Joke's on you, pal. And there it is, which would be nuts because his last pass and Brett Favre's last pass would be interceptions.
Oh, darn.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I feel so bad.
Pittsburgh Hornets. Can you ask Tomlin if we see him on Dancing with the Stars in my 3 to 5 minutes? For sure. For sure. Hey, Mike, I know that we're supposed to ask you about, leaving, quitting, everything that happened.
No.
What are your plans in terms of contested dance television?
Which pro would you most like to work with? I'm a big fan of Daniela Caragach. You know,
is that a real name?
That's a real name.
What a pull right there by you.
My
what
wife
a pull.
Watched Dancing with the Stars.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
Great. That's why I got so excited. I would love to see Mikey T doing a little cha-cha on Dancing with the Stars. Are you kidding me? That'd be awesome.
Dude, me too, dude. Me too. Nate Moore here. Low genuinely. Wow. Wow.
We've seen that.
I've never seen that.
I think we saw that on one of our earlier shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Shout out. Low genuinely. I can't believe I could say that word so smoothly.
Dude,
but I can't say any name at all ever. Shout out. Why should Aaron believe anyone other than himself is the most important, especially when teams around the league prove they don't give a F about players and treat them like assets? You're 100% right,
Great
dude.
point.
100% right. I want to say my point towards Aaron Rodgers' selfishness is all dedicated to the teammates around him and nothing else, because he's the quarterback, and I could care less what the Steelers think. The Zach Frazier, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, all those guys, those are the guys that Aaron should care about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I am anti-owner, right?
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
very, very up for, like, take those bastards' money for all you can for as long as you can. I'm great with it. You know what I mean? Like, in a nutshell, I love this idea of a team waiting on a player because they have the control, because there are a few situations where this is the case.
For sure.
It's just not good enough to be like this. It's just not the case anymore. 5 years ago, it was still the case, but even with the Jets.
Yeah.
But like, he's not good anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, you can be an asshole, but like, it just doesn't make as much sense whenever the results don't match, right? Like, there's a reason why a lot of players who maybe aren't the best teammates get spoken about in very high regard when they win.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Chris, guys, I never heard your takes on the new coach additions. Which did you like? Which didn't you like? And why did they let our special teams coach go? I don't know, man. And they replaced him with somebody that I have heard is not the greatest special teams coach, which I don't want to spread nonsense, but
what's his name?
Somebody sent me
I don't even know who the new special teams coach is, if I'm being perfectly
Crossman,
honest.
something Danny Crossman.
Oh, trader's name.
I was sent a press conference from the NFL Combine last year where reporters had to spend several minutes asking Mike McDaniel why he kept his special teams coordinator. And that's when you know it's bad, because nobody ever asks, hey, Mike, why did you keep a special teams coach? No, they just forget about it. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, we just trust you to do that one. So that one, to me, concerning. I feel indifferent about McCarthy. You know, I think the fact that nobody else that they were hunting after didn't get a coaching job, to me, after the dust is settled, feels equally as suspicious as choosing Mike McCarthy. And I like the offensive coordinator hire, considering I would have liked Shieldhouse better, but I don't think there was any chance he was leaving LA once he didn't get a head coaching job. I like Patrick Graham a lot. I like a lot of the defensive hires, truthfully. And I like the new offensive line coach and wide receivers coach a ton. Ton.
Adam Henry is the new.
Adam Henry is the wide receivers coach.
Yeah, I do enjoy a lot of the, and I applaud McCarthy for a lot of the positional coaches that he's hired. Like we've talked, D'Amato Pecco as defensive line coach. Like, great addition. He's going to be awesome working with Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black. Adam Henry, the new wide receivers coach, as you mentioned. Like, that feels like an upgrade in a lot of ways too. For sure. No disrespect to the previous one, because Azani was fine.
Oh, yeah.
And very nice and all that stuff. But like, this feels like an upgrade. I like Patrick Graham as well. I'm a little less excited about Brian Angelico, to be quite honest. I understand his role is going to be somewhat secondary because Mike McCarthy is going to be calling the plays, but I think there could have been maybe something a little bit more encouraging and creative with that hire. But I'll reserve my final judgments for the season to play out, because if they just get this offense to be middle of the road, oh my God, what an improvement from 2025.
Yeah, for sure. Smooth as Buddhist. Art Rooney II has been the Steelers' problem since the end of the Killer Bees era. See, it's crazy because for a long time I really fought against Rooney making moves because I think his moves were spaced out. Mm-hmm. They were like, his impact on the team was like every couple of years you'd make some big giant call that you were going, all right, pal, what are we doing? But it feels like now it's like 2 within 5 years, really 3 within 5 years, because Matt Canada, Kenny Pickett, Mike McCarthy, and maybe McCarthy works out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Too early to tell, but early judgments are negative, and 3 and 5 years, 3 and 6 years, whatever it's been, too much, too many things in too short a time.
Mm-hmm.
You get one decision to make every 5 years as an NFL owner. Besides that, stay out of it.
Listen, I have a ton of respect for Mr. Rooney, like as a person. I think there is a lot to be desired in terms of how ownership is.
Yeah.
The direction ownership is steering the organization.
Yes.
I think that's a totally fair thing to be critical of at this point.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it because, again, very nice guy, nothing but nice to us.
Super nice guy.
I've ever had with him.
Yeah.
Not trying to, just like be a jerk to be a jerk, but like it's not working great.
No.
So I think it's fair to be critical.
I agree. LKZ. Do y'all remember us not drafting Quinn Menhertz? Miners. I knew as soon as I said it, I was like, I remember this guy's name being weird because we thought an undersized guard could play center.
Is that the Kendrick Green year?
It was. It was. We all remember it, and it sucks.
Best
and
fullback in team history.
For sure, dude. Most exciting play training camps ever seen. Ever in the whole history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I do remember this. And I also remember, I believe he was a 3rd round pick. I think he went after the Steelers, picked Kendrick Green.
That would have been, because
he was the belly. That was the belly year. That's just upsetting, man. That's just so upsetting. That's so upsetting. And that's a Tomlin Colbert hire or decision there. That's not
he went pick 98.
98. Yeah, Kendrick Green went like
I want to say
70 or something.
Too early. 87.
80.
10,
oh my
picks before.
Gosh. That's disgusting. Yeah, we do remember that. What?
They had their franchise quarterback going into his final NFL season, and they were like, hey, dude, this guy doesn't even know how to play center.
Never played center in his life.
Teach him.
Showed up and was like, I don't know how to play center. And they were like, nah, he's gonna play center. He's gonna play. The guy's nasty. He's just a bulldog.
Ben's that good.
He's 4 feet tall. Shout out to Kendrick Green, nice guy too, but fullback for sure, dude, for sure. Poke salad. If Rodgers doesn't return and we have a battle with Howard, Rudolph, and Aller, who wins? It's Will Howard.
Will Howard's my bet.
Drew Aller would be my second guess though. And I think it'd be real close.
It's just, I know it's definitively not Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, that one's an easy one. I think Aller would look better during training camp and Howard would look better during the preseason. And Mason's not getting a real shot. He's going to walk in at 30 years old. They're going to be like, dude, you're too old. If you are between the ages of 27 and 41, you just don't fit our tax bracket of what we're looking for right now.
Yeah, you gotta be 42 and up.
Yeah, you're either literally about to die or you are within 2 years of the NFL. Those are the only 2 options that you have.
Yeah, you're bang on. There's nothing I can add to that because it's correct and all true.
Thank you. Lindsay's asking, why are we early today? Appreciate everybody jumping on early once again. I am going to the Pittsburgh Irish gala thing. I should again know that name, but Mike T is talking to the media there. So we're going to have some updates finally. A little bit of closure from good old Mike Tomlin from the good old Pittsburgh Steelers. Good old Pittsburgh Steelers. Maddie, what's your go-to Chipotle order?
Oh,
classic. Chicken, a little bit of cheese, guac, veggies, the corn salsa, regular salsa. Wrap it up.
Yeah, you don't like spicy things, huh? So you wouldn't do the hot salsa, huh?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to taste my food.
I love
my bland food.
Salsa. Are you a Chipotle guy? And I'm
like Chipotle stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, or do you prefer? Some people are like, oh, I'm all about Qdoba. I'm all about Moe's.
I'm not picky. I'm not picky at all.
Yeah, it's all good for me.
Yeah, it's like whatever, dude. It's the same. It's all a little bit different. They all are better at different things, I think.
Sure.
But like, I don't. It's like saying, do you want to go to this Mexican restaurant or that one? I'd be like, dude, I couldn't tell you. Like
Right.
I could, sure.
Sounds table.
Yeah. You want to go to this dive bar or that dive bar? I don't know, man. Is there beer? It sounds good. I'll be there. You know,
Yep.
What we've got. Are there tacos? No, good. Cause I was getting a bowl. That's what I'm saying.
I'm hungry.
Folks, Salad, coming back to you. Why is Jarrett Surratt's name not being brought up so much? I think it's because of where he is. I think he's going to go right between the Steelers' first pick and their second pick. And he's not. I think if he's there within the second pick, very good option for the Steelers or Elijah Surratt. I don't know why. What did I call him?
I think you said Jared, but
Jared.
Yeah.
But I think if he's there with the second pick and the Steelers don't go wide receiver the first, he's very much so on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to fall right in that weird spot. And that's why he's not being brought up as much by us, at least.
Yeah. And I will, I'll toot my own horn a little bit here. If you go back through the Puntori's playbook list, a video playlist, you will see that one of my earlier things about the draft mentions Elijah Surratt as being a second round target for the Pittsburgh Steelers because he's just like a quarterback's best friend. He's just like, he's not exceptional. Maybe like when you watch him athletically, he's not like the most intimidating player, but he just gets open constantly and he makes tough catches. I love this player, national champion, obviously. I think the other part that's kind of overshadowed him is Omar Cooper Jr.'s rise has been so ridiculous and fast. Like, and I think that's kind of pushed Surratt kind of down the totem pole a little bit, but shouldn't really take away from his draft stock too much.
Yes. The Simp 88, Will Levis for a late pick, 26 and very athletic. Look at you. Ask me, I say yes. Yes, Jacob, he says no. I think 26, rocket of an arm. If you're going to get Joe Milton with no expectations, you might as well add Will Levis to the list. Like,
I mean, listen, that argument's hard to rebut.
So I'm saying, like, he's not coming in here looking like the guy, but whatever. You know, like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't make a difference to me. I'd go after Will Levis, dude. Give a 7th round pick, take him off your hands. I think Tennessee looks at it and says, well, they just got Mitch. Oh my gosh, they just got Mitch Trubisky. Go call.
Under contract?
Yeah, he is actually. He's got one more year. Go get Will Levis, dude. 7th round conditional in 2027. Easy, without question. Without question.
First thing comes up when you Google it was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Take a look at that later.
His ex-girlfriend.
For research.
His ex-girlfriend, for sure. Shout out to Tori Puntori. Mrs. the Mrs. I'd give up a 7, dude. Who cares?
I would not know. I mean,
conditional 7th in 2027.
Sure, but don't expect anything.
No, who cares? You know, he's just there. He's just there hanging out. I'm having a good time.
No, she's not my type.
I don't even know what to say to that. You're wrong. Let's start with that, but then we'll go from there.
You know who my type is? My wife.
I was like, here it comes, guys. Here it comes. Charlie. Steelers easily win playoff games with Kyler. Charlie knows what's up, dude. Everybody look at the screen right now. Charlie is a smart individual, and this man is a genius. You're right. You're 100% right. I'm all in on Kyler Murray, dude. I'm all in on Kyler Murray. Everybody else tell you no. Don't listen to them. They're wrong. It's like when I don't even know. I don't even know, but they're wrong. Okay. We are right. Nope. Chris, guys, maybe I am getting FOMO, but if we don't sign Rasheed Walker, I will be very disappointed. I don't know why we are waiting when he is a must add. Agreed, Chris. Stop, dude. You're not allowed to talk about Kyler Murray.
I was going to go back, but no, since you saw me. Agreed. They need this player.
They do.
They need this player.
They do. They got to go get Rasheed. I think it's a must. Why they're waiting, we don't really know. Officially squashing grapes. Couldn't we still trade for a quarterback if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come? If so, who are the best options realistically? What would we have to give up? JJ McCarthy would be one for sure. Will Levis is another one.
Right. Joe Milton actually
becomes a real option, but there really aren't like good quarterbacks out there that you're trading for. Like, you're not going to get a Michael Penix.
Our boy Jack loves Davis Mills from Houston.
Davis Mills, also terrible, but like an option. You're guys that you're giving up a 5th or a 6th round pick for. That's who you're getting, which is it's just not ideal. It's really just not ideal.
Stopgap city.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Chris, hey Noah, does the All Steelers talk light behind you turn on? It does. It's super bright. We're waiting on a remote to turn it down, but here you go, guys. It's crazy, yo. It's crazy bright. Crazy bright. I broke the remote. That's on me. We ordered a new one. It's coming. It's coming for sure. Let's we'll kick it off. We'll finish it off with two more. Maddie, so when do more signings happen? I think signings happen tonight because all the media will be in one place. It just feels like that's when it's going to happen.
Yep.
They know what they're doing. But I would say a little bit here, a little bit there for the next couple of days. That's my 1 or 2 sprinkled in, over the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I think so. Nothing major, though.
And we'll finish it off here with Clint. Will the Tomlin press conference be live? Where can we watch it? It will not be live. It is a hosted event that the media is invited to, where we have a small session with Mike Tomlin that I have to be at 40 minutes. So we're heading out of here. But I'll have video. I'm sure other people will have video. I will post the whole thing online. So you guys will be able to watch it on YouTube. Afterwards, you can find it on All Steelers Talk, as always. With that said, we're heading out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcast, and always find all our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. We'll be back tomorrow, normal time. Appreciate you guys jumping on early with us. Make sure to come back later for some Mike Tomlin action. Until then, enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.